We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some major news coming out of last night's edition of NXT, which saw even more fallout from the 2023 WWE Draft. As most of you are likely aware, multiple NXT superstars were drafted to Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown this year during the draft, notably including the now former NXT Women's Champion Indi Hartwell. Now, Indi Hartwell was drafted to Monday Night Raw during the first night of the draft on Friday Night SmackDown last week, and many fans began speculating what this could mean when it comes to Indi Hartwell's reign as the NXT Women's Champion, and how WWE would go about Indi losing her title. Well, on NXT last night, Indi Hartwell made an announcement that she will be vacating or relinquishing the NXT Women's Championship, and revealing that there will be a tournament to crown the new NXT Women's Champion, which will culminate in the new champion being determined at NXT Battleground later this month on May 28th. This was an emotional segment for Indi Hartwell, and she's officially leaving the NXT brand for Raw. And fittingly, Indi Hartwell was carried out from the arena by her storyline husband, Dexter Lumis, as Indi's currently dealing with an injury following her match last month against Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez at the Spring Breakin special. Hartwell had been performing in NXT since January 2020, so she was a part of the NXT brand for a little over 3 years, which is a respectable stint for Indi Hartwell. So the timing is certainly right for Indi to make her move to the main roster on Monday Night Raw, as she's gained invaluable experience performing in NXT, and many fans feel she is ready for the bright lights of the main roster. Now, it is definitely a bit sad that Indi Hartwell was basically forced to vacate her NXT Women's Championship yesterday on NXT, but she's clearly headed for bigger and brighter things on Monday Night Raw, and it's evident that WWE have some big plans for her moving forward on the main roster, and there's already some big rumors and speculation going around that WWE could be planning a massive faction reunion on Raw in the near future. One of our sources, WRKD Wrestling, revealed that there are apparently, quote, preliminary plans to reunite hashtag WWE NXT's faction The Way in the future on the hashtag WWE Raw brand. WWE have already sort of began teasing this idea with Dexter Lumis carrying Indi Hartwell out of the arena last night following her relinquishing of the NXT Championship announcement. And as some of you are likely aware, Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae were all drafted to Monday Night Raw, meaning that this faction reunion is looking like a legitimate possibility in the near future, and could be a great way to introduce fans to Indi Hartwell on the main roster, although it should be noted that it would not be the complete faction, as United States Champion Austin Theory, who was also a part of the faction in the past, was drafted to Friday Night SmackDown, so the Way faction would be reuniting without Austin Theory. Let us know your guys' thoughts on Indi Hartwell getting drafted to Monday Night Raw, and subsequently relinquishing her NXT Women's Championship before moving up to the main roster officially. And what are your thoughts on WWE possibly reuniting the Way faction on Monday Night Raw, with Indi Hartwell, Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae? Now, there was some big news from the weekend regarding the current Intercontinental Champion Gunther, because as some of you have likely heard the news by now, Gunther got married to Ginny, presumably in London, England over the weekend. Now, congratulations to Gunther and Ginny on their wedding, and it was certainly refreshing to see Gunther actually smile and break away from the serious ring general character that he portrays on WWE television. On a side note regarding Gunther, during the 2023 WWE Draft, Gunther, along with his Intercontinental Championship, were drafted over to Monday Night Raw, along with the rest of the Imperium faction, and this is certainly intriguing as it's been a long while since the Intercontinental Championship was on Monday Night Raw. Let us know your guys' thoughts on Gunther moving to the Raw brand with the Intercontinental title, and do you feel like this is a good thing for Gunther, or will he be overshadowed and not promoted the same way on Raw compared to the way he was on SmackDown? Regardless, there are lots of interesting new feuds for Gunther on Raw moving forward, including the likes of Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. By all means, Gunther has already had a very lengthy run with the Intercontinental Championship, nearly 11 months now, so perhaps one of the reasons why Gunther was drafted to Raw this year is because Triple H and WWE have plans for Gunther to soon set his sights on that new World Heavyweight Championship belt, although as of right now there are no clear signs that Gunther's Intercontinental title reign is coming to an end anytime soon. While Jon Moxley may not be returning to WWE anytime soon, it was revealed earlier this morning that Jon Moxley will be returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling for their upcoming Dominion event in Osaka, Japan on June 4th. This will be the first time that Jon Moxley has wrestled in Japan since before the worldwide health situation a couple of years ago. Although Jon Moxley has wrestled for the New Japan Pro Wrestling banner in the United States several times over the past couple of years. But this is still major news of Jon Moxley being booked for the Dominion event next month in Japan, and lots of fans are very excited to see that Jon Moxley is heading back to Japan to perform again. Now we have some breaking news that a wrestler who had been released from WWE last year in 2022 has been rehired by the company. As most of you are likely aware, WWE shut down the NXT UK brand last summer in August, and a lot of the talent from that show were released as a result of NXT UK closing down, and among those names that had been released included Eddie Dennis, who performed for the brand for several years between 2018 and 2022. And the news is that Eddie Dennis has returned to WWE, but not in the way that a lot of wrestling fans would have expected. Eddie Dennis had announced his retirement from in-ring competition back in March 2023, at the relatively young age of 37, and fans questioned what would be next for Eddie Dennis in his career after retiring seemingly quite early. Regardless, Eddie Dennis is now back in WWE, although not as an in-ring competitor, so he's not going to be backing out of his retirement plans, because WWE have just posted all of their corporate hires on their LinkedIn page for Q1 of 2023. And among the hires was Eddie Dennis, and he's back in WWE as a producer and writer for the NXT brand, likely a hire by Triple H. Now congrats to Eddie Dennis on his new role in WWE, and it's great that he'll still be able to work for the company, even though his in-ring career has come to an end. Now, a major name in WWE has basically touched upon when his career with the company could be coming to an end, because for those of you unaware, WWE SmackDown commentator Michael Cole talked to Pat McAfee on his podcast recently, and among the subjects that came up, Michael Cole talked about the fact that he does in fact plan to retire, with this being what Michael Cole had to say on the matter, quote, "Oh, well, I'm going to have to stop or else. I'm gonna be married 30 years, so if I want it to last longer than that, I'll probably have to stop at some point. But no, it won't be anytime soon. I still got a lot of work to do with this company. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to do, still a lot of shows to call. I told somebody that I would, I'm 56 now, so 60 sounds like a pretty good age to maybe slow down a bit." Let's hope that Michael Cole does not retire anytime soon, because he's certainly a fixture of the commentary team in WWE, and a legend in his own right, despite the fact that many fans don't give Michael Cole the praise or credit he deserves for his commentary work over the years.